Chapter 1 Intro.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to Smart Home UK channel, where we make smart home tech easy. Or at least entertaining while I struggle with it. Today we're tackling a huge issue in the smart home world, battery-powered devices. Because if your sensors run out of juice, well, so does your automation. Motion sensor, offline. Door sensor, offline. My hopes and dreams, offline. Wait.
What?
Oh, never mind, that was my bank account. Okay, so let's fix this disaster by setting up battery monitoring in Home Assistant. Because manually checking each device is so last year. Ain't nobody got time for that. Grab a coffee, sit back, and let's make sure our smart homes don't turn into dumb homes when the batteries decide to call it quits.
Chapter 2 Why Battery Monitoring Matters.
Picture this. It's 4 a.m. You hear a mysterious noise in the garage. Your trusty motion sensor should be on guard, ready to send an alert and summon the smart home gods. But wait, it's out of battery. Instead of a blaring alarm and an instant notification, you get absolute silence. Your security system is now about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Why should you care about battery monitoring? A lot of smart home devices rely on batteries, including motion sensors for security and automation, door and window sensors for intrusion detection, leak sensors because surprise indoor swimming pools are not fun, smoke and CO detectors so you actually get alerted in an emergency, temperature and humidity sensors so you don't wake up sweating like a rotisserie chicken, smart locks unless you enjoy getting locked out like a sitcom character, remote controls, scene switches and buttons, because lifting your hand to a light switch is so 20th century. Now imagine all of these gadgets failing at the same time because their batteries ran out and you had no clue. Total chaos. Without active battery monitoring, any of these devices could stop working without warning, leaving your home vulnerable, inefficient, and temporarily not so smart. What happens when your batteries run out unexpectedly? Security risks. Your motion sensor is out of power, and an intruder waltzes in undetected. Great. Automation fail. Your smart lights don't turn on when you enter the room, so you walk straight into a chair. Nice. Fire hazard. Your smoke detector is supposed to warn you, but instead it's just sitting there drained of life. Yikes. Locked out. Your smart lock shuts off right as you're carrying 5 grocery bags and a coffee. Oops. False sense of security. You think your smart home is running perfectly, but actually it's just a collection of expensive paperweights. Why not just check batteries manually? Because that's boring and requires effort. And let's be real, if we were the type of people who enjoyed manually checking things, we probably wouldn't have built a fully automated smart home in the first place. Let Home Assistant do the heavy lifting. Monitor all battery levels in one place. No more clicking through 50 different devices. Send you notifications when a battery is low, so you can swap it before disaster strikes. Help you plan battery replacements before they drain completely. Future you will thank you. By setting up battery monitoring in Home Assistant, you're making sure your smart home actually stays smart, and you avoid the awkward realization that your automation didn't fail. It just needed new batteries.
Chapter 3 Battery State Card.
Want to keep track of all your battery-powered devices and see their battery levels right on your Home Assistant dashboard? Sure, you could painstakingly add each battery entity one by one if you enjoy unnecessary suffering, but why put yourself through that when there's a much easier way? Meet the Battery State Card, your one-stop shop for battery monitoring. This card gives you a clean, at-a-glance view of all your device's battery levels, so you'll never be caught off guard by a sensor running out of juice again. Before you can add the Battery State Card, you'll need to install it using Hacks, Home Assistant Community Store. If you haven't installed Hacks yet, no worries. Check out my video, How to Install Hacks 2.x in Home Assistant 2025, Step-by-Step Guide. Just click the link in the top right corner now, or find it later in the description below. Open Hacks and search for Battery State Card. Click on it to open the details page. Hit the download button in the bottom right corner. In the confirmation dialog, click Download again. Once the card is downloaded, reload your browser. Now that the battery state card is installed, let's put it to work. Go to your dashboard and add the battery state card. Click Save and you're done. All entities are automatically sorted from the lowest battery level to the highest. You'll see only 8 devices with the lowest battery levels at first, but you can expand the view to see all devices. Important notes: if you don't tweak the code to filter out some devices, you'll see battery levels for phones, tablets, iPads, laptops, basically anything with a battery that's added to Home Assistant. The visual editor doesn't work with this card. You'll need to modify it using YAML. If you want to customize your battery state card, you must add the entire YAML code. As the editor only shows the first line, at least in the current version, this may change in the future. If your card doesn't display any entities or you need to tweak it, check the description below this video for the original YAML code. Need more details or examples? You can find everything on GitHub. And yes, the link is in the description again. Now, instead of playing guess which device is about to give up on life every few weeks, you'll have all the info you need right on your dashboard. No more surprise offline sensors, just smooth, stress-free home automation.
Chapter 4: Helpers for Help.
Home Assistant comes packed with a variety of virtual devices designed to make our lives easier. 25 of them, to be exact, as of February 2025. These little lifesavers are called helpers. I've already made a dedicated video covering all of them. Helpers, your best buddies in Home Assistant 2025. All helpers explained. Click the link in the top right corner now, or save it for later using the link in the description. Let's talk about one specific helper that can assist with battery monitoring. It's called Combine the State of Several Sensors. Fancy name, right? But don't let it intimidate you. All it really does is act like a battery level group chat, gathering all your battery levels into one place so you can see in real time which device is running on fumes. Unfortunately, this helper only shows you one device and its battery level, the one with the lowest charge. To make things even trickier, the entity ID is stored as an attribute, meaning not every dashboard card will display it. Helpful, kind of, but don't worry. You can set up a simple automation to notify you when a battery is low. Once you get the alert, head over to your battery page and track down the prime suspect, the device with the lowest battery level, along with any other soon-to-be powerless culprits, like a detective on a mission. Now let's set it up and make life so much easier. Go to Devices and Services, and click the Helpers tab. Hit Create Helper in the bottom right corner. Select Combine the State of Several Sensors from the available options. Give it a name, something clever. Add battery level entities from all battery-powered devices in your smart home network. Leave statistic characteristic as minimum, since we're looking for the lowest value. Set precision to 2. 2 decimal places should be precise enough. Press Submit. You've just created a helper that tracks battery levels across all your devices. Close the dialog by clicking Finish. If you're wondering what to name your new helper, check out my other video, The Perfect Naming Conventions. Simplify your smart home. As usual, you can click the link in the top right corner now or find it later in the description. For now, I'm adding this shiny new helper to the dashboard purely for demonstration purposes. Honestly, I don't see much practical use for it on your dashboard, but I want to verify that it's actually showing the lowest value and the correct entity ID. Because, trust but verify, even when it comes to Home Assistant. So here's what I did. I added an entity card to my dashboard, selecting the State of Several Sensors helper, which should display the lowest battery percentage. Then I duplicated the card and changed the attribute to min entity ID, so I can see which device is actually on life support. And the results are in. Both the State of Several Sensors and the battery state card confirm the same doomed device. The temperature and humidity sensor in the main bathroom, bravely clinging to life at just 20% battery. Everything checks out. Mission accomplished. Combine the State of Several Sensors automation. We need to be warned before a battery gives up entirely. So let's set up an automation to stay ahead. Click Settings and go to Automations and Scenes. Hit the big blue Create Automation button in the bottom right corner and select Create New Automation. Add a trigger. Choose Entity and then select Numeric State. Set your Combine the State of Several Sensors helper as the entity. Choose Fixed Number for the upper limit and set below as your threshold. 20 is a good choice. Move to the Then Do section and add an action. Select Notification and choose how you want to be notified. Phone, email, carrier pigeon, smoke signals. You do you. You can even add multiple notifications. I'm going with both phone and email because I have trust issues. Save the automation. Want to get fancy? For extra customization, add an adjustable battery threshold to your dashboard so you can tweak it without editing the automation every time. Go to Helpers and create a number helper. Name it something fun like Panic Threshold or Battery Doom Alert. Pick an icon. Set a minimum and maximum value. Stick to percentages, so nothing above 100. Select Slider as the display mode. Keep step size at 1. And set the unit to %. Save it. And add it to your dashboard. Go back to your automation and change the upper limit to numeric value of another entity, setting below to your new battery threshold helper. Save the automation. Now you can adjust the alert threshold anytime without digging through automations. Threshold Sensor Automation. If you prefer a different approach, you can create an automation based on a threshold sensor helper. Go to Helpers and create a threshold sensor helper. Name it. Set your lower limit. This is the threshold number. It'll switch to on when the sensor value drops below it. Set input sensor as your Combine the State of Several Sensors helper. Save it. Go to Automations and create a new one. Add a trigger. Select Entity, but this time choose State instead of Numeric State. Set your threshold sensor helper as the entity and select On in the To field. Each time your threshold sensor helper turns on, it will trigger the automation. Configure your notification, save the automation, and voila! Automation test. Let's put it to the test. Click the 3 dots next to your automation in the Automation List window, or in the top right corner if the automation is open. Select Run Action. Within seconds, you should receive a notification. I got both a phone alert and an email. Success! With the battery monitoring method using the Combine the State of Several Sensors helper, you won't get a full list of low battery devices, just a heads up that at least one device is struggling. You'll still need to check your battery page to hunt down the guilty devices. And with that, this chapter is officially closed. On to the next adventure.
Chapter 5. Blueprints for Help.
What is blueprint? Generally speaking, a blueprint is a detailed plan or guide that outlines how to build, create, or implement something. The term originated in architecture and engineering, where blueprints are technical drawings used to convey the design and specifications of buildings, machinery, or other structures. These drawings typically use white lines on a blue background, hence the name blueprint. In this particular case, blueprints are the secret sauce of Home Assistant. Think of them as a magical recipe that takes the hard work out of creating automations. You whip it up once, and bam! It's ready for every device. No more repeat performances. Low battery level detection and notification blueprint. Alright, let's talk about importing blueprints, because who doesn't love a little automation magic? It's ridiculously easy. Scroll down to the video description, find the link to the low battery level detection and notification for all battery sensors blueprint, and give it a satisfying click. Then smash that open link button like it just insulted your mother. In the Import a Blueprint dialog, hit Preview. Then Import Blueprint. And just like that, you're now the proud owner of a brand new blueprint. Congratulations, you're basically a tech wizard. Now let's make this thing work for you. Open up your blueprint. And set your battery warning level, because nothing kills the vibe faster than a device going poof at the worst possible moment. Choose when the automation should run. Be smart. Nobody wants a low battery panic attack at 3 a.m. Pick the days it should run. Use numbers 1 to 7 for specific days of the week, starting from Monday, or 0 to select every day. Shout out to the overachievers. Decide which entities to ignore. Personally, I'm skipping our phones. Now add an action and configure the notification. Include the sensors variable in your message to get a list of devices gasping for battery life. Format the output to make it look polished and professional. Need ideas? Here are some examples. If you don't format your template variable, the output will be a comma-separated list of devices. However, you can replace the comma with a new line character, which will result in a list of devices, each appearing on a new line. Please remember that for outputs using HTML, you must use a different new line character. Additionally, you can add text before or after the template variable. Check the description for formatting tips, notification examples, and a link to the community page, where people far smarter than me share their secrets. Once your notification is configured, hit Save. In the Rename window, you can update the name of your automation, and then press the Rename button to save it. And you're done! Congratulations! You just built an automation like a pro with a little help from a blueprint. Now strut over to Automations, find your shiny new creation, and bask in your tech genius. Low battery notification in Actions Blueprint. Are you ready for the next automation upgrade? Let's take it up a notch and try another blueprint. This one's a bit more advanced. Scroll down to the description and grab the link to the low battery notification and actions blueprint. Click it, then confidently slap that open link button like you're collecting a reward in a video game. When the Import a Blueprint dialog pops up, hit Preview. Then Import Blueprint. Before you know it, you've successfully added another powerful automation to your setup. Now let's tweak it to perfection. Open your low battery notification and actions blueprint. Skip triggers for now, trust me, we'll get back to it. And head straight to battery settings. Set the battery low warning level, because ignorance is not bliss when it comes to devices shutting down on you. Decide which entities to exclude. Same as before, phones are out because unlike them, we don't need constant reminders to stay alive. Next, head to the Easy Notify section. Enable device notifications to send alerts to your phone and other devices, so you can't say you weren't warned. Enable UI notifications to display alerts directly in the Home Assistant interface. Pick which devices should receive notifications, because not everything needs to scream for attention. Give your notification a title. Something dramatic like "the batteries are fading" is optional but encouraged. Choose a notification variant. 3. Only for unknown and unavailable sensors, aka the mysterious ones. 2. Only for sensors with low battery, aka the real troublemakers. And 1. For both, go big or go home. That's it for this section. We're cruising. Skip action buttons for now. We'll come back to that beast later. If you want to add more notifications, like email alerts, head over to Custom Action. Enable Custom Actions and click Add Action. Choose the notification type. I'm going with email because I love cluttering my inbox. Configure the notification. Trust me, you've got this. Want a list of all your struggling devices? Unlike the previous blueprint, this one lets you choose from multiple variants. Use one of these template variables in your message. Unavailable sensors names. Just the names of unavailable and unknown sensors, aka ghost sensors. Sensors names, only the names of sensors running low on juice. Unavailable sensors, names and statuses of ghost sensors, aka who's slacking. Sensors, names and battery levels of the soon-to-be powerless devices. All sensors, everything above in one big dramatic list. Make the output look clean and fancy, because messy notification should be a crime. Check out the formatting examples in the low battery level detection and notification for all battery sensors blueprint. It works exactly the same here. You'll also find examples and formatting tips in the description below, plus a link to the community page where automation geniuses have shared even more handy info. Once your notification is set up, hit save. In the rename window, you can tweak your automation's name before pressing rename to lock it in. And just like that, you're golden. Your automation is set up, but since we skipped the triggers section, it won't start automatically. Let's schedule it and add an extra trigger, but first, we need a button helper. Go to Helpers and create a new button helper. Give it a nice name and assign an icon because aesthetics matter. Hit Create. Add your helper to the dashboard. This lets you manually start your automation with a single button press right from your dashboard. Convenience at its finest. Go back to your automations and open the one created using the low battery notification and actions blueprint. Go to the Triggers section, tick Use a Button Trigger, and add your button helper as the entity. If you'd like to schedule your automation, enable the time options, set the day or days of the week and time you want the test to run. Hit Save. That's it. Your automation is now fully set up, triggered, and ready to keep you from being betrayed by low battery devices. Remember when we skipped the action buttons section? Well, I promised we'd come back to it, so here we are. This section lets you define interactive buttons within the notification that trigger specific actions when tapped. These buttons are super useful for quickly executing automations or scripts in response to a low battery warning. Want a snooze button to delay the notification? Done. Need an order new batteries button? Why not? How about a panic mode button? I mean, sure, if that's your vibe. Set up your action buttons, save your changes, and you're now wielding automation power like a true home assistant master. Now go forth and conquer those low battery warnings. You have a lot of useful tools and you only need imagination. For example, you can create a simple automation that will press your recently created button helper when a battery level drops below the threshold, automatically starting your low battery notification and actions automation. Automation test. Let's run some tests. Open your automations and find the one you created earlier using the blueprint. Run a manual test the same way you did in Chapter 4. Helpers for help. Did you get notified? I did. Home Assistant interface notification, phone alert, and email. Success. If you added a button helper to your dashboard, go ahead and press it. You should receive your notification within seconds. Any luck? Nailed it here too. That's a wrap for this chapter.
Chapter 6. Thank you.
Thanks for sticking around. Monitoring battery levels is a small but mighty step in maintaining a smart home. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe for more smart home shenanigans. Feel like fueling my caffeine addiction? Buy me a coffee or support me on Patreon. All links are in the description. See you in the next one. Stay charged and automate on.